What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and Kazim is here today as a journalist.
That's right.
We were talking about Drake going on with Bobby Althoff, who, by the way, was ending her podcast and her whole podcast career. And then Drake swooped in and did this interview with her, their second interview together. And he addressed all of the journalists who were going to be upset about this. Here's what he said.
Me essentially just recognizing somebody that I never met in my life, I wanted to have an interesting conversation with. It off so many all these losers, these storied journalists and this guy and that guy who feels so entitled to this interview about, and Drake never does anything for this type of media, and it just made people so angry.
And a lot of people were upset the first time around. Definitely Elliot Wilson was.
Oh yeah, he was probably the loudest of detractors.
The most vocal about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are your thoughts on Drake doing an interview like this instead of with a journalist?
Well, I mean, I understand why he's avoiding the journalist right now. And I said this when the beef happened. It felt like it was very split down the middle between Kendrick and Drake for a while. Then it felt very, very, very anti-Drake for a long time. And he's a human being at the end of the day. If he doesn't want to talk to people that he felt a type of way about when he was probably as lowest as he ever been in his career, that's completely his prerogative. But I think culturally, musically, a lot of us, I speak for a lot of fans or a lot of journalists out there, just want to talk about the music. We just want to talk about your bars and the stuff that you talk about in your albums. And sometimes these interviews with streamers and other people that aren't as well versed probably come off a little, topical and just very surface based. And for somebody who's been through all the things that he's been through, you'd want to hear him get a little bit deeper and a little bit more, into the answers that he'd want to give, especially given how he's been talked about.
Maybe he's going to wait till the album's coming out, because that's the time you do it, right?
Yeah, I don't think this is the last time we're going to see him doing some press.
I think at some point, who do you think he should talk to?
Man,
pick one person.
I'm a big fan of Nadeska. You said earlier today. I think she's great at what she does. I think Rob Mark. I think given the whole back and forth.
One person, Kaz.
All right, I'm gonna stand on this. I think he should talk to Rob Markman.
Okay, because they had a back and forth.
They had a back and forth. Rob's a super acclaimed journalist. They have a ton of history dating back to his XXL days and the freshman cover, and we could talk about the entire career history between those two, and especially that Drake let it be known that he pays attention to what Rob does when he.
That's right. That's our shorty, Rob
there you
Markman.
go.
Let's get it.
So,
all right. Well, let's hear what you guys think. 800-292-5150.
Oh, and he can come to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn if he wants to, too.
I thought you was going to say that.
I was about to say,
7 p.m. in Brooklyn feels like a good space.
Me and Mello, we could work
and
this
Drake,
out,
you can
too.
always come to lip service. He probably enjoy that.
But look at me plugging the homies.
I know,
Shut up, Rob.
Plug the homies. Pause.
Hey, yo. That's crazy.
All right, well, Halle, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on the topic just because on one hand, I feel like it would be good for the culture, for Drake to be able to speak to these acclaimed hip-hop journalists. But in the same breath, I got to be honest, man, they wasn't really rocking with him during the beef. So I can understand why he wouldn't, want to show his support there.
Nobody. Academics was.
Academics doesn't count. I don't think he means streamers. No offense to Academics. I think what he built is super impressive. But it's when you're talking about
journalists.
when you're talking about the Academics, the Ada Rosses, even the Kai Cenats and those people, you know what you're going there for. I think the people that want to talk to Drake, especially after this year, they want to talk about the music. They don't want to talk about all this messy stuff. So it's having to talk to a guy like B. Dot or Elliot or Rob or Wayno or anybody who's had anybody anybody who has real acclaim and talking about this stuff. You'd want to hear that from them.
He should go to Nadeska
or Nadeska, right? Nadeska's incredible, but at the same time, I understand why he doesn't want to talk to anybody in our culture.
So you said.
People talked very, very crazy. Not everybody. I think he went off on Rob Markman a few weeks back. I saw that. Which I didn't think was cool because Rob was probably the most, down the middle, diplomatic, just calling it as I see it sort of journalist out there. Now, if there was something that he said that Drake took offense to years or months ago, I may not be privy to that. But as far as what Rob Markman and people like him do, those are the conversations that a lot of people want to hear from him. But
that's when you should go to him and be let's talk.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Right. But, and honestly, it's not I think everybody knows what the Drake media stimulus is like. Everybody knows that whoever gets that first interview gets that sit down.
Billion views.
Billions of views. Everybody's going to clip it, farm it, share it, whatever.
We're doing that right now with Bobby Althoff.
We're actually doing it as we speak.
Cass came in here in anticipation wearing a shirt, okay?
Yeah. Listen, this is not planned. All
Rhea
right?
Ripley.
This is just straight up.
He came in here planning it out.
Straight up coincidence.
Somebody tipped you off.
But now, see, I'm on game because you know Drake knows ball. Rhea Ripley's that girl right now. But no, I understand why he did it.
He should go to Shannon Sharp.
See.
Uh-oh. All right, thank you for calling.
See,
why you say no to Shannon Sharp?
I don't think that's the best place for him to go right now.
Okay.
Not for nothing. I have nothing against Shannon Sharp. I just don't think that would be. But here's the thing. Drake's made a lot of probably like questionable media decisions post the beef that people were like, this isn't what we're used to him moving like, or like we've seen him move like in the past. Like the same people he's trashing in his Bobby Althoff interview. I'm probably mispronouncing the name. Please forgive me. But the same people that he's talking about are the same people's approval that he sought after for so many years. Like there was so many folks that were, he's chasing this classic album and this undeniable hip hop, whatever. And the same breath that he talks about not caring about these hip hop journalists, he says how much he cares about being called a culture vulture. And like these people that would call you a culture vulture are people that are quote unquote purveyors of the cultures. And so sitting down with, a girl like Bobby is kind of ironic. If that's,
he's into that.
Yeah. And I get it. And I'm just a consumer. I was just really interested to hear what he has to say after everything that's transpired. And for the most part, the clips that I've seen, a lot of the stuff that he's talked about, he's addressing a lot of stuff that I'd want to hear him talk about with the Robs and the Elliots and all that type of stuff. So
just not really the music.
Yeah, like
it's
I want
nothing about the music.
No.
But what I do know is that he says he does not have fake abs. Period. That was the most important part.
That was you could tell the type of stuff that was said in those Kendrick disses that really hurt him. Like the ab stuff, the culture vulture stuff, like those are stuff that definitely made him feel a type of way. But
the pedophile stuff. I think that was
yeah.
top of the list of what really, bothers him.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to be called that, no matter what the circumstances, rap beef or not. Like I don't think anybody wants to be called that. But
all right. Well, listen, again, you guys can call in 800-292-5150 because when we come back, you have the last word. It's way up.